Mark my words, we will hold Tony Fauci accountable. We will hold Deborah Birx accountable. We will hold Joe Biden accountable. But unlike the Nuremberg trials that only tried those doctors that destroyed the lives of human beings, we are going to come after the press that lied to the world, that worked as a propaganda machine to push the...
So they're the victims in this constant Holocaust comparison that they'd like to make, as he is literally saying, we're gonna hunt down the press as well as the doctors. I think you should read some books about the metaphor that you're making there. Anyway, it wasn't just him. You also had Robert Malone, the anti-vaccine doctor from Joe Rogan's podcast. He opened his speech in front of the Lincoln Memorial by invoking Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, adding that anti-vax marchers in DC today are, quote, standing on the shoulders of giants. Sort of. I mean, you're kind of standing on a needless mountain of American dead from the pandemic that didn't need to die. But thank you for your contributions to that human suffering. You also had regular people, of course. John Kopel, a staunch advocate against COVID-19 vaccines and an InfoWars loyalist, told the Daily Beast ahead of the rally he's a fan of Alex Jones. Well, wouldn't you have to be a loyalist to InfoWars? Anyway, he carried a sign that promoted Jones' media entity and claimed that Dr. Fauci is a mass murderer. He said he remains upset with former President Donald Trump's initial push of what he calls the bioweapon. The rally goer added that Trump's endorsement of the vaccine is a serious issue. We are for medical freedom, he continued, before suggesting that Trump might have been corrupted. So we've seen this little dance where they love Trump. They really love Trump, but he'll encourage them to take this a little bit seriously, maybe get vaccinated, and they boo him. If they're put to a test, some of them, perhaps an increasing number, they know which they would choose. They like this new identity they have more than the Trump stuff, perhaps because the rhetoric is even more deranged, even more apocalyptic. The conspiracy theory more pure and undiluted than Donald Trump's rambling diatribes.
Absolutely. And I think you're gonna see, look, that was the who's who of anti-vax influencers who have been doing this grift for decades. And the pandemic and the vaccine rollout was a perfect trifecta, plus MAGA folks, for a lot of these influencers and wellness gurus and people who just sell you more snake oil, but maybe they do it from like an alternative medicine position or from like a family base or like, I am a sovereign autonomous being, right? Like what is called conspirituality, which by the way, everyone should listen to that podcast. It's amazing. That there are going to be more and more of these people, not just out in front, they're gonna run for office, y'all. And so I think it is important. What can we do? It's very scary. For me, it comes down to public health and Medicare for all. The more easily accessible your doctor is to you, your healthcare plans are to you, the more affordable, the more clinics there are, the more we can dispel and turn to places like YouTube, which should not be places where you get your information. You should not be turning to the Joe Rogan podcast to tell you the truth, right? But that's sort of what we have sown in this country, and we're reaping it, and it is scary. But like, please try and pull your friends away from the brink of this, however you can, because a lot of people are getting sucked into the anti-vax world, and it's not just from the right; it's also from the so-called progressive left.
Yeah, or you're totally right, especially because that's where the money is. If you're gonna make, like, by the way, I've made what, 1,000 videos cautioning people about the pandemic and trying to get them to take it seriously. Let me tell you, it's not a big money maker, but pushing ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and conspiracy theories, massive money. You can get a nice house on that money, it turns out.
Or John, if you title your video Dr. Fauci, if you criticize Dr. Fauci in a headline, which he deserves some criticism, that'll get clicks. Anything.
Oh, totally, and just do that all day long. And sure, people won't know what's going on. They won't be ready to engage with the political system, but you will be wealthy. There's also regular, like they would maybe describe themselves as centrists, but like longtime Democrats who are at this rally. Claire Tobin is a lifelong Democratic voter from Chicago. She voiced her frustrations with politicians pushing mandates and vaccines. I don't trust the vaccine. You can't even trust the Democrats either. They all have the same message. They all had the same agenda. Which, look, obviously them all having the same message on the pandemic doesn't seem true, but it might be a little bit harder for them to say it's all equal if one party got the presidency and then accomplished a lot of stuff. Joe Biden, that might help to differentiate the two. One attendee, to give you an idea of how rampant the conspiracy theories are, he said his name was Jason, told the Daily Beast the event might be a psyop due to the loud rap music being blared through speakers, which prohibited attendees from talking to each other. It's a disaster. No one can talk to each other. You realize this? There are always operations. No, they're incompetent. And so they put the audio up too loud. It's not the CIA necessarily. And of course, crazy signs, shoot those who try to kidnap and vaccinate your child, stuff like that. My producer says, what if he's a surgeon and he just got paged mid quote? Well, apparently he should probably go back to that because people need the help. We need the doctors.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.